Welcome to Physician in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Dr. Monique, a board-certified family physician and founder of the brand Physician in the Kitchen. My passion is helping busy people discover, cook, and eat delicious plant-based foods, and my mission is to fix America's health one plate at a time. I'm so glad you joined me today because one question that I often get asked is, how do vegans or plant-based people get enough protein in their diet if they're not eating meat? Well, first of all, that is a big myth that you have to eat meat to get protein. There are plenty of sources for protein in a plant-based diet, and today's recipe will show you one delicious one. This recipe packs not one punch, but two. It packs a punch of protein and a punch of flavor. Today, we are making walnut meat rice paper pot stickers. But before we get into that, be sure to do all the things. Click, like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our plant-powered content. Pot stickers are a type of Chinese dumpling that are typically stuffed with pork and cabbage, and they are pan-fried and then steamed so that they're both soft and crispy. They are crescent or kind of quarter moon shape. You've probably seen them before, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make them at home. This recipe is also great for batch cooking because you can make a bunch of these, freeze them, and then when you're ready, just defrost them or throw them in the toaster oven and they're good to go. So we're gonna take a little bit of creative license here because instead of the typical outer part of a dumpling or a pot sticker, which is typically made with flour, we're using the rice paper here today. But this is a great gluten-free option and also lower in calories. And remember, a recipe is just a really easy checklist of ingredients to prepare and eat. So feel free to stuff your pot stickers with any plant-based protein, such as seitan, tofu, even tempeh, and any type of vegetables, Brussels sprouts, bean sprouts, you name it. The possibilities truly are limitless. So enough of this talking, let's get to cooking. The all-star lineup of ingredients for our pot stickers is as follows. 2 cups of walnuts, soaked for 20 minutes and drained, some sesame oil, about 1/4 cup of Physician in the Kitchen vegan Worcestershire sauce, and a teaspoon of Oriental 5 spices. We've also got some scallions, fresh ginger and garlic, soy sauce, some more Oriental 5 spice, and our shredded cabbage and carrots. We've also got some soy sauce as needed as well. And then of course, our lovely rice paper to wrap everything up. The all-star lineup of ingredients for our peanut butter dipping sauce is as follows. 1/3 cup of creamy peanut butter, no added sugar, but if you want to use chunky, you certainly can. 1/4 cup of soy sauce or tamari sauce, the juice from 1 lime, and for some heat, I'm using some dried sriracha here. You can also use actual sriracha sauce, or if you don't have that, regular hot sauce, or even cayenne pepper, just something to give it some kick. All right, let's go ahead and add our ingredients to our mini food processor. You can whisk this in a bowl if you like, but I want to get it nice and smooth and nice and creamy, so I'm going to use my mini food processor. But you can do this with a whisk if you would like. And let's just process. If you don't have lime juice, you can also toss in some red wine vinegar or rice vinegar just for that acid. And I can see that I'm going to need more liquid, so you would add water here to get the consistency that you like. Let's add in some water, probably about a tablespoon. You just do it by sight. This is an umami flavor bomb. That soy sauce is giving it just the right amount of just umami flavor. The peanut butter cuts the heat from the sriracha. So this is all playing together very well. So you just thin it out to the consistency that you want it to be. But I'm using this for pot stickers. So to me, that's a good consistency because I don't want it too runny. That is delicious. All right, let's get the pot stickers. Okay, I'm going to show you how to prep your shredded cabbage and carrots. You can certainly buy them in the store this way, but it's super easy to do if you have a food processor. Now I'm going to use the blade that says fine, if you can see that there, because these are going to be small and I don't want a lot of big pieces. So we're going to finely shred our carrots and purple cabbage. And we're going to do it all in the same bowl. No need to mess up two bowls. So I'm starting with some already peeled and washed carrots and about a half or a quarter of a cabbage, depending on how big your cabbage is. This should make probably about a cup. We probably won't need all of this. Now you can also use a box grater for this, but I like to use gadgets. I think it's faster for me, so we're gonna do it this way. Okay, and now for our cabbage. Okay, now you could totally do this recipe raw if you don't want to cook your walnuts first, but I am going to toast mine because I just want that deeper flavor that you get from sauteing them. So we're going to bring our skillet over medium heat, add a little bit of our sesame oil. This is pretty much a one-pot meal because everything can be done in this one skillet. All right, let's go ahead and add in our walnuts, and we're going to season them with a little bit of my Worcestershire sauce and the Oriental 5 spices. And the 5 spices in here are cinnamon, anise, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves. My weekly plug for smell-o-vision. Already, it's just attacking my nose in a good way. So we're gonna just let these brown a little bit. And the reason you soak them for 20 minutes is obviously to soften them up, because we're gonna pulse this till it has a meaty texture, or it looks like ground beef or minced meat. So soaking them and rinsing them helps that process. I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit. I don't want my glaze, my sauce rather, to burn. So we're gonna turn it down just a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of water in here as well. Don't be afraid to make adjustments on the fly. If you see your pan is drying out, you know you don't want it to burn. So if you need to add liquid, do it. Come together for another couple of minutes, and then we're going to take them out and put them in our food processor. That looks about done. So let's go ahead and try one out. Check the texture. It tastes good, and it's going to be the perfect texture for when I process this in my food processor. Now, of course, you could do this. You could chop these up with a sharp chef's knife as well. But I just like the ease and convenience of the food processor, and I don't have to wait for them to cool down. That already looks like meat, doesn't it? It's one of the cool things to me about vegan cooking is creating something that looks like what you used to eat. I just love that. I think it's the magic of it for me is so cool. And we're gonna just pulse this just a couple of times. We don't want to turn it into walnut butter. Just so it starts to look meaty and crumbly. See how that's coming along? A couple more should do it. Let's give it a taste. Check my seasonings. If you notice, I haven't even added salt. Didn't really need it, but let's just make sure. There's what our texture looks like. That is delicious. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and saute our vegetables so we can put this all together. Doctor's orders. Walnuts can be eaten in a variety of ways, on their own as a snack, or added for extra crunch to yogurt or cereal, or thrown in smoothies, baked goods, salads, and even ice cream. So let's talk about why they're good for you. Walnuts are considered a tree nut. They are made up of mainly protein and good healthy fats known as polyunsaturated fats. Per 30 gram or 1 ounce serving, which is a quarter cup or 12 to 14 halves, they contain 185 calories, 4 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, 0.7 grams of sugar, almost 2 grams of fiber, and 18.5 grams of fat. Now, while they do contain a lot of calories and fat per serving, the good news is that studies show that walnuts do not increase the risk for obesity when they're eaten in place of other foods. Walnuts contain omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids and are higher in antioxidants than a lot of other foods. These fats, including linoleic acid, play a role in healthy skin and hair, wound healing, and lowering LDL or bad cholesterol levels, which in turn decrease the risk for heart disease. In addition, walnuts contain several vitamins and minerals such as copper, phosphorus, folic acid or folate, vitamin B6, and vitamin E. These vitamins play a role in heart health, bone, nerve, and immune system function, prevent birth defects, and protect the skin and hair from damage. Walnuts may also improve brain health and decrease the risk for cancer. Have you ever noticed how walnut halves look like tiny brains? That may not be a coincidence, because studies do show that eating walnuts regularly can slow down brain aging, improve mental health, and decrease the risk of diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Due to their fat and antioxidant content, walnuts decrease inflammation and help keep plaque or blockages from clogging up your arteries, which cause heart attacks and strokes. Now, who shouldn't eat walnuts? People who are allergic to tree nuts. And tree nuts include almonds, Brazil nuts, cashews, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, pecans, and pistachios. People with a tree nut allergy should also not eat walnuts. Nut allergy symptoms can be very severe and even fatal. Severe allergy is known as anaphylaxis. As a side note, peanuts grow underground and as such are considered legumes, which are not part of this group, although people can of course be allergic to peanuts as well. So with the abundance of health benefits and multiple uses for walnuts, including a protein-packed meat replacement, be sure to add some walnuts in throughout your menu whenever you can. We're going to bring our skillet back to medium heat, add a little bit more sesame oil. Now we're going to cook our mirepoix, our Asian mirepoix. So mirepoix is the combination of carrots, onions, and celery, and it's the basis for a lot of delicious foods you've eaten, soups and stews and things like that. In New Orleans, they call it the Holy Trinity, and they use bell pepper, carrot, and onion. In Asian cooking, the triad or mirepoix is actually scallions, garlic, and ginger, and that's what we're going to start with. And that will have your kitchen smelling like a fine Chinese restaurant, trust me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put in our scallions, our garlic, and my ginger. The ginger is kind of potent, so I don't need a lot. And we're just going to cook this till it becomes fragrant, which is usually about 30 seconds to a minute, if that. This smells, what's a better word than amazing? Because this is like amazing on steroids. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and add in our carrots and our cabbage, probably about, I'd say, half a cup each. And make sure you don't have any big chunks in there. If your grater didn't get them all the same size, make sure you pick them out. And now I'm just going to mix this all together. Add in my soy sauce, some more of the 5 spice. We're going to cook this down, and then we'll add our meat back in, our walnut meat back in, and then it'll be time to assemble our pot stickers. And once you've got everything prepped, it really doesn't take this long to come together because our vegetables are so finely chopped that they don't need a lot of cooking. Really just kind of warming everything through, letting everything come together. Now we will put in our walnut meat. And like I said, this is a great recipe for batch cooking. As you can see, this is going to make several, at least 2 dozen, I'd say, pot stickers. So if you're having a party, this is great. Or if you want to just, freeze them and then throw them in your toaster oven or stovetop, you can just reheat them on the stovetop and add a little bit more veggies here. But this is a great thing to just have in your freezer. And you don't even have to buy these. You can buy these in the store, but you see how when you make them yourself, you control salt and don't have to worry about any preservatives, fillers, any of that stuff. Now let's give this a taste, see if we need to add any seasoning. Wow. I'm not adding any salt because there's salt in my soy sauce and it doesn't need anything else in my opinion. This looks amazing. Look at that. Now it's time to prep our rice wrapper and bring this on home. All right, a word about our rice wrappers. So you can find these in your grocery store. You can also get them, of course, in an Asian store, but they are selling them in pretty much grocery stores as well. You just want to look for a spring roll rice wrapper. And as you can see, only 46 calories per serving. And here a serving is actually 3 wrappers. And it's got 0 fat, almost no sodium, and no added sugars. So if you are looking for a gluten-free option, you might want to think about this. This just has rice flour, cassava root flour, and water and salt. I was going to add the cilantro as garnish, but I'm going to throw it in. So now that I've cooked my mixture, I'm going to add the cilantro. Cilantro doesn't really do well with heat, so I wanted to, now is a good time to add it in now that I've cooked everything. Let's just fold that in. That's going to give it a nice floral, citrusy flavor. That's gonna go so well. And plus it's just so pretty. You guys know I'm obsessed with cilantro, so anytime I can add it, I shall. All right, now let's go ahead and stuff our pot stickers. Here you see what your rice paper looks like. And because pot stickers are crescent shaped, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half. And we're gonna use 2 per pot sticker because I want it to stay intact, and also I want it to be crispy when we fry it. So this is just a bowl of hot water or warm water. Put it in there for about 10 seconds, not too long. And then we're gonna use a spoon to start to fill our pot sticker. We'll do maybe about 1.5 spoons. And I'm using a teaspoon here. You don't wanna overstuff these, because you need to be able to seal it on both ends. Seal that off there. And then I'm gonna wrap it again in this one to make sure everything stays where it's supposed to be. There we go. All right. And you want to work kind of quickly, because as you can see, once you put these in the water, they do soften up pretty quickly. And you want to be able to work with them before they get too soft, because then it's kind of hard to manipulate them. Rice paper is also a good thing to use if you're making like your own like chicken nuggets or anything you want to have the shape of an animal, or you know, a regular quote unquote food item. Think about using rice papers. Like I've seen plant-based lamb chops made with pot stickers, and I think that's so cool. So you want to just kind of play around with it, eyeball it. You do not want to overstuff it. That's the main important thing, because you don't want your filling to come out once you start to pan fry them. So the more you do it, the more you'll get the hang of it. So the ones that you make in the beginning may look a little different from the ones you end up with, but that's okay. All right, I'm just gonna wrap the rest of these up and you can check back on me later. Okay, here I've rolled out about half of my mixture. The other half I can either go ahead and roll up or freeze it as it is and then make them later. But we're gonna go ahead and start frying our pot stickers. So the way this works is you're gonna fry them first, and then you steam them. And that's how they get that crispy and soft texture that pot stickers are known for. So we're gonna put just enough oil to coat the bottom of my skillet. And remember, this is a 1 skillet meal, so all I did was rinse it out. Makes cleanup super easy. Okay, let's go ahead and put these in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna cook these over medium heat for about 3 minutes, just to let the bottom crisp up. And just wanna check and make sure they're not cooking too fast. So when they're ready to turn, they'll release. So I'm gonna leave them alone because they're not ready to turn yet. All right, these are starting to look good. So we're gonna cook them until they are golden brown. All right, so we're gonna add the water, step it back. And steam these for about 3 minutes. And then we're going to take the top off, and you let the water cook off, and then they're done. And that's where the name comes from. They kind of stick to the pan when they're done. All right. All of our water has evaporated out, so it's now time to take them out of the skillet and plate them up. All right, I have plated up my pot stickers. I've garnished them with some cilantro, some more of the scallions, and some sesame seeds. Now let's give them a taste. This is a flavor bomb, okay? The garlic, the ginger, the scallions, the spices, the walnut meat. It's crispy, it's yummy. This is so good, oh my goodness. My taste buds are happy, they are overjoyed. This is a wonderful recipe to try. You can also air fry them as well. about 400 degrees for about 14 to 15 minutes. Be sure to turn them about halfway. So if you want more plant-based recipes, be sure to grab my book, Doc Fix My Plate, The Physician in the Kitchen's Prescriptions for Your Healthy Meal Makeover. Grab my Vegan W Sauce at veganwsauce.com. Be sure to click like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future plant-based content. Until next time, I'm Dr. Monique telling you to keep it 100. Plant-based, that is. Eat well.